On May 6, 1978, around 4:15 p.m., something crashed into a mountain near El Taller on the Bermejo River, around the border between the Bolivian province of Tarija and Argentina. Thousands of people saw this happen and later described the object as being cylindrical in shape with a flaming tail. It was so loud and so fast, it caused a supersonic boom that was heard up to 150 miles away, and that cracked window panes as far as 30 miles in every direction. The next day, the papers were speculating on what had came down. The explanations ranged from meteorites to UFOs, or possibly a late re-entry of some Apollo capsule. As the questions were circulating, it was announced that the Argentinian authorities had sent the 20th unit of the border police to the area to question individuals and look for wreckage on their side of the mountain. The search in that mountainous country could last for weeks. At this time, swarms of reporters went to the nearest town, Aguas Blancas, to book rooms and await further developments. During this time, they began to interview eyewitnesses that saw the event in the town. As expected, there was a large number of witnesses who claimed to have seen the object. Most of them described it as oval or circular and also metallic. The army, too, seemed to be convinced that it was a UFO. Corporal Natalio Fartan Ruiz, the commander of a small border police unit in the village of La Marmora, confirmed the crash to Argentinian reporters, saying it was about 4:30 p.m. when a cylindrical object made the earth tremble. Just imagine what would have happened if the UFO had fallen on the houses. Policeman Juan Hurtado had also seen what had happened. It looked like a gigantic white container emitting a trace of white smoke. I saw it clearly. It flew directly above my head. I was on duty, and at that moment was talking with 3 engineers from the mine in La Paz. The impact was so strong that it threw me to the ground. The earth trembled at that moment. After some debate, the Bolivian Air Force sent 3 single-motored AT-6 airplanes to the area and discovered the crash site on the southern slope of the El Taller mountain. Whereas the pilots found it impossible to land anywhere near it, the newspaper Clarín of Buenos Aires announced on May 14th that the object had been found. As proof, they quoted the police chief of Tarija. Our men have discovered the object and inspected it, but have received no further instructions for further action. It is a dull, metallic cylinder 12 feet long with a few dents. No one knows what is inside, and we are awaiting the arrival of various technical commissions. A NASA expert is also expected to arrive tomorrow morning. But no NASA expert ever came to Tarija. Instead, 2 U.S. Air Force officers, Colonel Robert Simmons and Major John Heiss, arrived. Although these officers were officially on leave, they have been instructed to take the object to the United States on a Hercules C-130 transport machine, which was waiting for them in La Paz. When other newspapers made inquiries at the American Embassy regarding the secret mission of Simmons and Heiss, they were ignored. Only 2 years later, 5 documents were released by the U.S. State Department. They revealed that Simmons and Heiss had been assigned to the military attaché of the U.S. Embassy in La Paz and did, in fact, fly to Tarija. They were accompanied by an officer of the Bolivian Air Force in connection with Project Moondust. Project Moondust was a covert project by the United States Air Force during the Cold War that existed at the Air Force Missile Development Center at Hesemann Air Force Base. The aim of the project was to recover objects and debris from spacecraft that had survived re-entry through the atmosphere back to Earth, and to exploit the discovery of Soviet hardware when it temporarily fell into American hands. Of the 5 documents recovered, none provided a clear picture of what had actually happened. And, regrettably, no further reports concerning the Simmons-Heiss expedition were released. To get a picture of what happened, ufologists and investigators were forced to rely on reports in the Argentinian press. Apparently, throughout the 5 reports, nobody had came to the conclusion that a meteorite had hit the Earth. One piece of solid evidence that it wasn't a meteorite comes from the Smithsonian Institution. At the world-famous Smithsonian Institution, there is a databank of scientific occurrences, an alarm network that keeps track of every volcanic eruption, every earthquake, and every meteorite collision since 1973 with painstaking accuracy. The databank reveals no mention of a meteorite falling during May 1978 around the Bolivian-Argentinian border. Still, communities around the crash site remain adamant that something did crash. There was also talk of men in black canvassing different areas, talking with eyewitnesses. Today, the 1978 Bolivian UFO sighting is remembered for several things. First was the abnormally loud sound and the sonic boom, which shattered windows and scared animals literally to death. Second was the large number of witnesses that saw the event. It's rare to get multiple witnesses citing a UFO, but hundreds, and in this case thousands, is truly extraordinary. Many theories outside of it being a UFO or UAP exist. First, some believe that it was an advanced technology that the military was testing out. It is believed that the testing may have gone bad or there was some sort of malfunction. Skeptics believe that this was simply a high-speed military pilot that crashed. Perhaps people's memory was clouded by the loud sound, and there were suggestive ideas that caused mass hysteria. This could have led to an exaggeration of facts around the matter. Still, this doesn't explain the fact that the eyewitnesses were in thousands of different locations, and reports were generally similar. Due to the clandestine activities by the U.S. military, notably military officers Simmons and Heiss, it's doubtful we will ever have more clarity around the events unless more documents are released or confessions are made.